focus today for the mindfulness broadcast is about kind of cultivating our identity, doing that on purpose, and specifically through the lens of work. So many of us have, especially in North American culture, this real identity. Our identity is the focal point, and then kind of all these other identities circle around that. So me as an artist, me as a sister, me as a partner, me as a nature enthusiast, me as a gardener, those begin to filter around my identity in my professional life. And so we want to kind of play with that a little bit this morning and see what we wanted to, if we might want to do something. So, Chris, thank you so much for that feedback. Chris noted that for those of you who attended the Mindful Masterclass on Wednesday, that Theo did a great job. I'm just loving Theo and his addition to our team. He'll also be, oh, great, thank you. Yeah, he'll also be over the next couple months doing a few of the broadcasts as well, these Friday broadcasts. So, yeah, thanks for that feedback. He's a really neat human being. Okay, so the quote I want to share with you is from Simon Solzoff, I think is how you pronounce the last name. He has a new book out that's called The Good Enough Job. The Good Enough Job, and it's really built on this idea of our identity and what a central focus point our professional identities have become, and the result of that, the consequences of that. So his quote in this is, our identities are sort of like plants. They grow in proportion to how much time and care and attention you give them. And so if we don't invest in them with our energy, then they might wither. And it resonated with me, which is why, I'm probably bringing it forth and sharing today. I certainly have seen definitely over the last few years, as I've really gone into, my role and what I'm doing and my work. And it's like all these other things have kind of become secondary. And what's happening is, for me, it's also, it was what I'm finding now after several years of kind of letting other identities go, especially that of artist and creative, I would say, is that now when I have my downtime, I kind of sit like, well, what do I do? And is this productive enough is what I'm finding my filter is running through. Is this somehow getting something checked off my list? And I don't like that. I don't like that. So I dove in to try it. I don't have an answer yet, but I'm definitely looking at it through the lens of mindfulness. And so we're going to use our practice to kind of play with that a little bit. And it's not about working, doing less of a great job at work, right? Letting go of work. It's not anything about that. In fact, what we find is that when we remember all of the parts of who we are, and we give attention to that so that they don't wither, we are better employees. We're actually more resilient. We're more able to access our creativeness to deal with problems at work and challenges at work. And so if we look at it through the lens of really what's going to benefit me professionally, it's giving some attention to all of these areas of my life, looking at me holistically. And it also allows us to be more resilient in the face of change or negative feedback at work, because it's just an aspect of who we are. It's not our complete identity. So we're going to play with this morning. And I see, Janet, that it's resonating with you as well. Thanks for letting us know that. All right, go ahead and close your eyes, or you can take a soft gaze. And right away, just find that deep breath that reminds us we're breathing. I want to invite you to take a full breath, full enough that you feel some tension, expansion, where you kind of reach that edge of fullness of breath. And then slowly, intentionally breathe it out. Imagining that you're breathing out slowly through a straw, through your lips. Again, taking that exhale all the way to the point of tension, where there's nothing left to exhale. And then slowly, intentionally inhale. Doing that 2 or 3 times. Really being with our breath, feeling it in our body, feeling it in our physiology, bringing our mind focused on it. And then returning to your normal breathing pattern. Finding your posture today, whatever that is, standing up, sitting down, lying. And again, the same way that we did with our breath, being in our body, finding this mindfulness posture on purpose. Know that you're in your body. Feel it. Feel where you make contact with the earth. Notice where your attention is going in your body. Inviting any intention or attentiveness into the posture. And then inviting this exploration. When I ask, who are you? What's the answer that arises? Just allow those thoughts, those feelings, those images to arise. You might find that what follows I am might be verbs or nouns or adjectives, and all of those are fine. Without any judgment, just allow the answers to come. Who are you? Exploring those answers, noticing if any surprise you, disappoint you, encourage you. No judgment, no story, just noticing right now. If you find that doing this work is triggering or feels impossible at the moment, you can always land back at your breath or your body, allowing those to be your anchor. And we're all here brought together through this identity around our professional world. Probably most of you are at work right now. So if we just accept, our job title, our role, whatever that is part of our identity, I want to invite you to go beyond that a little bit. What else do you want to invite in? And maybe it's already there, and maybe it's not. Maybe you know how, and maybe you don't. I am a singer. I am a mother. I am an artist. I am a creative, an author, an advocate. And again, as you do that, notice any emotions that surround that: grief, love, anger, disappointment, fear. And then explore how we tend to the soil of these other identities. And again, it might be things you're already doing, something you want to do. How do we remind ourselves of all that we are? Very often, as we think about how we cultivate our own soil or tend to our own needs, we kind of think about it in big chunks. I have to do this. I have to go back to school. I have to purchase all the supplies. I have to rearrange everything in my life. And that absolutely might be the case. And also, there might be just a few small steps you can take, even within the next 24 hours, reminding ourselves that we are so much more than our professional identities. And if nothing's coming to you, just find some acceptance with that. Meet that with curiosity. Mindfulness just gives us permission to think about our thinking, to accept ourselves where we are and as we are, and then to just get curious. As we begin to close, again, notice your breath and your body. Notice any thoughts or emotions that you're leaving this practice with. Is there anything before we close that you want to say to yourself? Take this moment to do that. And as you remind yourself of those things, do it through the lens of love and compassion, tending to your own soil. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Thank you, everyone.